What directly above you? What is that? Yes,
Directly above me. It's right here.
that.
This is my book actually. My first, the cover to my first published novel, Between Heaven and Hell, Genesis. Yeah, probably can't see it all that, but yeah, first published novel. Yes.
Is that you with the hat and the?
No, no, that ain't me.
Okay.
That's the main character of my story. But yeah, yeah. When I was doing my my other podcast, we was me and my homie was recording. We would record everything here, and basically the camera was set up directly in front, and so this was kind of like the image right here. You get to see the posters, and I figured why not put my book cover in the back because I got like all the stuff that I like, anime, Naruto, Rick and Morty, and my book. So yeah.
So clearly, you are an author. That does that make you an author if you have your book, right? You have a book.
I hope so.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now, I gotta ask, what is it? New York bestsellers list, New York.
Yeah. New York
I
Times. Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So as what does that do? Because I follow a lot of people that's kind of just got into, not really kind of got into it, but like it's their first
Yeah.
book, it's their first piece, it's their second piece, and they'll have that, and I'm like, so what does that do?
Well, it's definitely good marketing material for sure. Like being a well, being a New York Times bestseller for sure means typically that your book is popular and that you probably already sold a significant amount and got a really good amount of attention. And then there's the label, there's the title that goes along with it of being a New York Times bestseller, where it's kind of like winning a Grammy. Like basically for the rest of your life, that title comes before your name. You know, Grammy award winning artist, blah blah blah. New York Times best-selling writer, author, blah blah blah. So you can. It's kind of like that. Yeah.
Is it a certain number you have to achieve to get that?
Uh, I think it varies. I'm not entirely sure uh, how they measure it really, because being a bestseller is kind of it's kind of weird because when people think of bestseller in the writing world is they kind of think of, oh, your book has sold more than any other book, but that doesn't necessarily mean that. There are different ways and different areas and genres where you can be a bestseller. Like you can be a best-selling urban fantasy author for like Amazon, which means that you're the best-selling author in that particular genre. So you can be a bestseller in many different ways. Like you can be the best-selling uh, historical fiction author. And if there aren't that many historical fiction authors, then like it could be good or it could be like, well, yeah, duh, But yeah, it's always a nice title to have, which is why I guess people shoot for it so much. It's nice to say. Yeah.
Your Nope, I ain't even gonna do that. I'm gonna follow this script because I know how my brain thinks.
Uh oh.
When
About to
damn
go
it,
off the
man.
rail.
Damn it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
When when did you begin writing?
when did I begin? I've been writing since elementary school, man. I've been writing for so long. Since I've been writing stories for a very long time, since I was a kid. Uh,
Even if they didn't make sense, you seen
yeah,
something in your head and you learned to write it down.
Yeah, yeah. It was just like it was always fun to me to make these worlds. I think it started even before I even started writing. I was always creating little worlds in my mind to go to. I think initially it was like a way to escape reality, you know, and so it became like, oh, this place in my mind is way more comfortable than out here. So why don't I just kind of just stay in here for a while? And I would often do that. I would create. It started off with like Power Rangers and stuff like that. Growing up watching that show, and then I was like, well, I'm gonna make my own version of Power Rangers in my head, you know, and and then I started writing stories. I would read like Goosebump books
I never
growing up.
read any.
Oh yeah, the Goosebumps was my thing growing up. I used to love reading those, and that was part of my inspiration growing up. I started off writing scary, horror, gory stories and stuff. And what's funny is I've always enjoyed writing, but I never ever thought about being an author. You know, uh, for some reason, it didn't click in my mind that I should actually do this as a career. I didn't think about actually writing and publishing a book until I was like 22, and I had been writing like years before that already. But yeah.
So the stuff that you wrote, uh, uh, when did you? My bad, my phone vibrated. That's why I looked that way. I thought somebody was calling. Do you? Do you still have material? Do you have everything, or like when did you say, okay, I really need to keep this? This is good stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Majority of the stuff that I wrote as a kid, I still have. Uh, I put it in a binder. I used to have a little storybook binder where I would have sheets of paper and I would write my stories out in there or whatnot, and I would set it to the side. So I still got my old binder with like a bunch of old stories that I made as a kid.
When wait, unless this didn't take time, because I'm not gonna say what school you went to or nothing, unless you want to. But I don't know if you went there from um ninth to 12th grade, and if you was in a band all of the years. But I'm pretty sure you had the homework aspect of going to that school, being
Mhm.
in band practice also, because I've heard stories about y'all getting out of practice pretty late.
Yeah, 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 yeah. The Saint Aug, man, Saint Augustine High School, Josephite High. That's where I was at. But yeah, yeah,
2600, huh?
yeah.
There you
It's
go.
crazy. Yeah, yeah. It was actually I was a terrible student. I was a terrible student. So it was a lot of the I guess reason why I did write so much because it just wasn't an enjoyable time. Like being in school was not enjoyable for me. Like it wasn't stimulating. Like I would sleep in class a whole lot, all through from middle school all the way through high school. I slept in class. It wasn't fun for me. You know. Yeah, but and that's how I guess I started. Just that was part of my escape too. Like let
It
me
it
write.
wasn't fun. But now what? Now hold on. We
Mhm.
hold on, people. Hold on. We see. I got cards. Like the professionals, they got the cards and stuff. We gonna stray off for just a second. Just a second. You said it wasn't school was not stimulating for you. Was this um the way that the teachers taught? Like they just wasn't. Was it the subject, or was it like the way that the teachers delivered the subject?
I think it was the structure. Actually, I think the structure of school for me is just painful. Like I'm not a very good auditory learner. So if you stand in front of me and talk to me and try to teach me stuff and want me to remember it, I'm not gonna remember it. You know, I don't hold on to information that way. I'm more visual or interactive. Like I gotta do it or perform it
Hmm.
or something like that, and that way it sticks in my head. But 95% of school is just somebody standing in front of you lecturing, and lecturing, I don't hold that information, and so I just kind of like, after a while, my body literally just goes, "All right, I'm out," and then I just power down. you know.
I didn't. I didn't have the same problem.
Mhm.
It took me until after I dropped out of college,
Mhm.
and I'm glad I made that decision to stop going because I'm like I'm wasting my mom's money.
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah,
nah.
yeah.
Let me go ahead on and let
Do
me
something.
ease on out of here. And
Yeah.
I couldn't figure it out. I went to Landry, y'all. We both from the same city. We
Yeah.
both went to college together. We both went to Jackson State. I did not graduate. I didn't get my degree. I was a music education major, which means I wanted to be a band director in
Mm.
fancy terms.
Yeah.
But education was always my thing, and it's crazy. I sat and I thought about it like you you've been teaching drum stuff since like the 8th grade. And
Mhm.
I'm like, damn, I never really thought about it like that. Like, bro, you've been a
Yeah.
teacher that long,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
you naturally get good at it because you don't think it like that.
Hmm.
And everybody learns different, especially at the school I went to. Like, we ain't nah, mm-mm. we it was that was a lot. But my school, we weren't known for our academics, and I I can say it now as an adult. A lot of people may not, a lot of my classmates may not agree with that, which is fine. They could definitely do that.
Yeah.
Academically, we wasn't up here. Our leap scores, like all of that stuff.
Yeah.
No, man,
Yeah.
no. I was not prepared for college, especially for what I wanted to major in.
Uh,
My school, Landry had we had a different band director just about every year or every other year. I went there from 7th grade to 12th grade, with the exception of one year. I left and I went to John Mack for 10th grade year, and I went back for my 11th and 12th. So you got to figure you got all of these different band directors coming in with all of their philosophies and everything. And here I get the big college trying to learn how to be a teacher, band director, and I'm sitting there. This is the year 2000. That's my freshman year,
mhm.
and it was chalkboards. They'd get up there, chalkboard, just
Mm. Yeah.
and I write it down. I'm like the movies.
Yeah.
You write the stuff down and everything. I had a little laptop, put my earphone, just like
Mhm.
just like the movies. You got the music playing, and you and I'm sitting here with the music playing, and I'm looking at the stuff, and I'm looking at what I'm writing, and nothing up here, nothing. The train is not on the tracks. Nothing is going on, and I'm like, what's wrong? What's the problem? So I go and find a study friend, whatever. That might help a little bit because they don't know what's going on. They trying to succeed in the classes as well. Time passed, time passed. I'm like, okay. I did eventually get. I got enough to where I can pass in my music classes and stuff, but like math, no. I'd be in math class looking at I'm looking out the window the whole time. Math. I'm like, I could be at home making money doing
Yeah.
construction. I could be
Yeah. Yeah.
working at Avondale doing shipbuilding the entire time.
Anything.
Weirdly enough, I never ever liked math at all. But
Mhm.
I've come to realize math ain't hard. It ain't hard at all. All you need to do is find. And people probably go look at this like, oh, okay, that's all you need to do. But to me,
Just be good at it.
all you need to, not even that, all you need to do is figure out what you need to solve this problem.
Hmm.
That's it. And
Yeah.
that's all math is. And people would just sit there and stress and all these numbers. I'm like, I can't. Just
Yeah.
like you said, I'm a power down. I'm out the window. I'm just done.
Yeah.
And
That's one of the hardest things about math, or yeah, math specifically, I think, is that what makes it so hard is that there's so many pieces of it, right? And if you at the start of the class or start of the semester, you don't get the initial piece, the first part of this math equation, you pretty much lost for the rest of that semester or the rest of learning about this equation because you missed this one integral part. You looking up at the equation like, where the hell did that three come from? And, then, and now you lost. You like you feel you don't even want to ask the question because you know that was two whole classes ago. And
Yeah,
stupid. But now you can't understand the rest of the class because you don't know where the hell this damn three came from. Yeah, right.
mm-mm, mm-mm. And I realized not then, of course, but many years later, maybe about a good 10 years ago, like it's me. I learn differently,
Yeah.
and that's what makes me such a great teacher. And I never could put it together. And it was like, weirdly enough, how things work out. Even though I never received my degree, every job that I've had after college,
Mhm.
I've always been the one that people would ask, "Hey, can you train the new people? Can you train this person? Can you do this?" And I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
"Okay," but yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
that's
it makes sense, dude. Because I can't lie, I was in a similar situation. My story is like struggling all through school, and then when I got my first job, I just took off. Like
yeah.
my first job, once I actually started working, I got into the work field and I started doing stuff. And then I looked around and I was like, this is actually way easier. Like going to work, you know what I'm saying, is way easier than going to school for me. And I wish I would have understood that earlier. I could have went out and got a trade or got a
Yeah.
craft. Instead, I was so focused on, man, school. I gotta pass. I gotta get these grades and all that.
That's what was preached to us.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what we were told. Like school is the end all and be all. You
You
know.
gonna get your education, boy.
Yeah, better get your education because you ain't gonna go to one. And in a sense, I understand that. There's some truth to it. But the option of allowing people to go out there and work with their hands and stuff, because school, I think, is so narrowly structured that the people who fall through the cracks, like they feel hopeless. You know, like if you don't do well in school, you kind of looking around like, damn, what am I gonna do with my life? Not understanding that life is way bigger than school. You have way more
Yeah.
outside in the real world, but nobody really tells you that while you're in there. So yeah, it's just whole thing needs to change. I
And that's what I tell the I don't want to say YNs. That's
think we
that's
know.
that's what I tell the people.
We know.
The minors rather, because their name tags are different than
Yeah,
people over 18. But
young.
I always get with them, and I kind of sort of got in trouble once or twice for doing that. Hey, what are you doing? You guys are supposed to be working so and so, and I'm looking at him, and I done cussed him out my head a couple of times,
Yeah,
and I gotta be professional. I didn't have to, but I chose to be professional, and I'm like, I'm talking to him about his future, alternative routes. I'm trying to get to learn him, get to know him. I don't want to just look at him and say, "Yeah, you should go to
right.
HBCU and join a
Yeah, yeah.
fraternity and do this." Like, no.
Just
Tell
because they
me, tell me what you like to do. Tell me what you lay down and dream about. What you
right,
passionate. Like I'm doing all of this stuff,
right.
and I hope that I've had an impact on these people. But
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
All you can do. Oh,
you never know. People remember you. I have people that then got fired from that job and quit, and they always come back, and they be speaking and talking to me. And I'm looking at them like, do I know you? I don't know you. But again, it's retail, high turnover rate. But it's just the fact that you help them. The fact that you even not even help. The fact that you listen to them.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It matters. It matters, man. Listening.
So we back on the track now.
That's correct.
Wishful podcast people, we back on the track. So when did you realize you were good? Like, damn, this is good. I'm good. Like, did you let people read your stuff?
Hmm. When did I realize? I don't even know. Maybe when I was like 25, maybe, or 26, something like that. I can't. I don't even remember the moment. It's not like it was a big moment. I don't think, but I don't know. I think writing,
Grown.
just writing and language, and it kind of comes easy to me. And what I think what makes me good at it is I can read between the lines a little better than most people. Like, say, for instance, you have musicians who sometimes there's a name for it. I forget the scientific name for it, but they see the music notes as like colors, you know. And when they hear it, it kind of gives them a color. I forgot what it's called. Like,
Ooh, yeah, it got a weird name to it.
yeah, like monochromatic or something like that. But those kind of people are like special people when it comes to that music thing. Yeah, let me find out what that is. But
It's the phone. We finna look it up.
yeah, yeah, I forget the specific name for it. But those people have a special connection to music, I think. And it's not to say that they're all incredible musicians or that they make the best music, but they certainly have an advantage over other people. Just a natural gift that they have.
Is this
Uh,
it?
synes-
Synthesia?
yeah, synesthesia. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what it is. Synesthesia. Yeah, and you hear music and it interprets into a color or whatnot.
And one of the questions is it a form of ADHD?
It might be. It might be.
Is it a form of autism? No, it's not a form of autism. Yeah. Put the phone down. Put it
Who
away.
knows? You got to go down another rabbit hole.
Yep. I love them.
but, but I was using that as an analogy, basically, because those people have a gift that sets them apart or uh, gives them a leg up when it comes to music. Because I think music is about feeling as well, and the more you interpret, you're able to interpret that music into a feeling, into an emotion, the harder it's going to hit. So what I think that I don't know if it exists or if there's a name for it, but when it comes to like storytelling, how people with synesthesia see music as colors, I see stories as like threads, as lines, right? And for me, it's kind of like just moving the lines around, attaching the lines. So I think what makes me like a great storyteller in general is that how some people dub themselves or think of themselves as I am a science fiction writer. I am a horror writer. I'm a drama thriller writer.
And
To
this
me,
is you're talking about, right?
but
Or
in
you
a
was
sense,
just saying?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Like some people, like they that's how they think of themselves. For me, I see all of that as the same. To me, there is no difference between science fiction and horror other than how you tell the story. You can, all, in order to make a science fiction story into a horror story, to me, is just moving a couple threads around. That's all. You can change it into this. You can combine them together. You can make a science fiction horror. Like all of these things, to me, are the same. It just depends on how you do it. And for me, I think that's what makes me a great writer is because of my ability to manipulate the threads of the story.
I could put something together in my head, but
Yeah.
we don't have that kind of time. I'm thinking of movies. Like if you
Yeah.
took, I
Hmm.
don't know why, because you said sci-fi. I don't know why Terminator popped in my head.
Hmm.
Eh.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But that's clearly sci-fi. But you say to make it horror. I could see how you could take something like that and
Yeah.
make it into a horror movie. It would be, you would have to take certain aspects away from the sci-fi ism part of it and not focus on so much of, he's a T-8000. We ain't worry about that. Like, nah,
Oh,
he got a flamethrower. He coming to get you.
the thing is, you can do it. All it is like it's like adding to a recipe. You just got to add something different to it, like because turning the Terminator into a horror pretty much has already it's been closely done already. Like so, Aliens 2, the movie Aliens, that is a science fiction horror. That's what that is, you know. And all you got to do is look at the differences between those two things. What makes Terminator a more science fiction action versus Aliens science fiction horror? What's the difference?
You know what
You know?
else? What else comes into play
Yeah.
between those two? Music and sound effects.
Oh, absolutely.
And I thought about this. I was watching I don't know what I was watching. It was a Megan 2 probably. And I I get to where I look at movies. I've kind of always been this way, and I'm like, if you press mute and just watch this movie, it wouldn't be as scary as they say it is,
Right.
because there's no dramatic stabs. You don't hear the dark music, the foreboding music. You don't hear none of that. You just see people walking and
Moving and yeah,
yeah.
that's the truth. I think Jordan Peele pointed that out in the quote where he said the only difference between horror and comedy is music.
That's
And when
funny.
you think about it like that, it might be some truth to that, you know?
That is funny. That is funny.
Yeah.
Um. So what? Wait. How many pieces of work do you have out? How many books do you have? You have.
I have two currently available for purchase right now. Uh, they're on Amazon and pretty much every digital platform you can think of, mostly. And my third is coming out on the 25th of October. So yeah, that's where I'm
Is
at.
that Halloween? No, that's not Halloween.
Close, close.
Halloween ain't my thing. I had to
Not,
ask.
not a fan of Halloween, though. Yeah. It's like one of
It just. I don't know, man. I just.
my too many ghosts and goblins and
It just
all of
is
that.
what I as an adult, I guess I started to hear more people talk about, oh, it's a pagan, this and that, and those
Oh,
type of people.
yeah, yeah,
I don't not they don't bother me. We both
yeah,
got kids. Like, hey, you want to dress up? Sure. What do you want to
yeah,
be?
yeah,
Dad, I
yeah.
want you to be this. Okay. Like,
Mhm.
it is what it is. Here where I live is typically like a freezer outside, depending on the year. Because here I live in Cincinnati.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I know it's got.
Um, you are very prone to get all four seasons in one day, guaranteed, or your money back. It's just how it is.
we.
Um,
Oh,
and
wow.
I miss being home so much. People don't understand that, and I'm like, bruh, give me my heat. I need heat.
Yeah,
I could tolerate. I know what it is. I can't go from 80, 90 degrees and then it's not really a taper. It's like 90
yeah,
degrees and then the at night it might be in the 60s. Like, that's a
Woo.
big difference.
Yeah, yeah.
And even if it does taper down, like it a cool front or whatever might drop down to the 70s, then you got the 50s. Like, that's cold. And
That's
people
good.
here, they laugh, and I stopped saying it because I'm tired of getting laughed at. I'm like, bro, where I'm from, if the temperatures get down in the 50s, we
We don't
long
come out.
johns, we ain't coming out. We got long johns.
Yes.
We got on sweatpants, sweat top. We got hoodies. We got hats.
Yeah.
It's yeah, and they laugh. 50 degrees, not even cold.
Oh, that'd be the first thing they say. That's not even cold. Out my face, man. I ain't trying to hear that. I'm not even going outside. It's 50 degrees.
Yeah, that's different. Here is different. It's like when I moved here, my people they would always get concerned about the snow until I actually had a conversation with my mom, and I'm like, "How much do you think it snows here?" And she went to talking, and basically she thought it was like Buffalo. Buffalo get like 12, 13, 20 feet. They
Yeah,
get like your entire car is covered. And
yeah,
I'm like, nah, we might get 2, 3 inches, 5 maybe at the
yeah.
absolute most. That's
Right.
it.
Not bad though. That's not bad. It's
And
manageable.
yeah. And the people here are used to it. And, everything goes, the snow plows and the salt and all of that stuff. And it snowed in New Orleans recently. And I'm sitting there laughing. I'm laughing at my brother because he taking pictures and he's still trying to ride his bike and go to the store, and he telling because he live in the Seven Wall,
Yeah.
and he like, man, the wind hit me, and he trying to tell, and I ain't saying nothing. I'm like, New Orleans is not prepared for snow for a lot of reasons. The streets are not prepared before the snow. You got to put the salt down and do all of this.
Yeah.
Like, there's no salt, there's no nothing. The
Nothing.
pumps don't even work for hurricanes and floods. Like, what you gonna do with
What-
snow? Nothing. Just look
Nothing.
at it.
It was pretty for a while though. I ain't gonna lie. It was a winter wonderland, but that went away.
Yeah, I hope it don't happen again. I don't know. I wish that the South could get snow. Not even just maybe a half inch, just enough to last for like 24 hours, and
Yeah.
then it raises back up over freezing over 32 degrees,
Yeah.
or the dew point and all that other I can't say the word weather stuff.
Yeah. Synesthesia.
Yeah.
Word.
Here we go, man. Damn, this gonna be like 4 hours. I got like a couple of cards.
Go try.
Let me go. Let's see. So you got two and a half, basically 3 books. It's done. It's just not released yet.
Right. Right. Yeah,
Is
exactly.
this all a part of a series, or they're all different?
All a part of a series. This series is in my mind. I have it to like 9 books in my mind, and but it's gonna go until the story is complete. So it might be more, it might be a little less. I don't know, but in my mind, in my head right now, it's like a 9-book series, and this is gonna be book 3 dropping soon. So it's already pretty much complete in my head. I'm just you know putting on paper.
So, what type of writer? What type of author? I'm gonna call you a writer. I feel like that's not professional. What type of author are you? What genre are you?
Right now, I would be an urban fantasy author, urban dark fantasy, because that's pretty much the vein of my first series here is because it's like angels and demons and uh dealing with the occult and ghosts and monsters and stuff like that. So that would be more urban dark fantasy. Uh,
Hmm.
right as of right now, yeah, that's what I would be titled as. But like I said, I can I can pretty much write anything. Like I'm doing right now. I'm working on a screenplay in my head uh, that I can eventually. I'm going to try to put out and sell to somebody at some
Uh-uh.
point.
No, no.
Right? I'm
You
not doing. I
you
shouldn't.
know you're not gonna try. You gonna do it. We got to speak into
Oh,
existence. We not
oh,
gonna try.
oh,
You gonna put this out and you gonna do it.
Yeah, it's coming for sure, for sure. I'm
Okay.
I got my bullet points out already and whatnot. I just gotta, you know, finish putting it, you know, typing it out. But I got that. I got a slew of other like story ideas in my head that are like, I got thrillers. I got uh, horror stories and science fiction stories in my head. So, you know, like I said, right now I'm an urban fantasy author, but I can pretty much do whatever.
I'm gonna X this one, and then I'm gonna go to that one, and then we gonna have to roll to the next cue card. Um, what's what's the process? Is the process hard to go from um, you know, yeah, pen, paper, pencil, or a computer, or just whatever, however, notepad on your phone, to actually getting it to an actual book
Yeah,
medium, or um it's the same.
yeah,
If you read it on your phone, Audible,
right, right,
like,
right.
is that a hard thing to do, or
Uh, I mean, it's time consuming for sure. That's really that's really the main thing. It's just time consuming. I guess some people would, classify it as hard, yeah, because is you have to sink so much time into doing, especially if you want to do it well. It's gonna take some time and some effort to do, just like anything else. That's how I classify it. You know,
but what makes it hard? Is it like, if you already wrote everything down, like, okay, this is,
right?
I got my whole thing right now, the Life
Mhm.
Volume 1,
Right.
everything is wrote down.
Yeah.
But what makes it hard if you've got it from beginning to end?
Hmm.
Is it the people that you have to deal with, the publicists, and whoever
Uh,
else?
well, so going from an idea in your mind to a fully fleshed out story is hard enough in itself. Like, just having the idea, and even if you feel like you have the entirety of the idea in your mind. You know the characters, you know the story you want to tell, you know how it's going to develop and the plot points, and you know how it's going to end. Going from that to actually writing it down or typing it out is one of the hardest parts, because that's really where like 90% of people stop. Like right there. I think everybody has a great idea or a great story to tell. But then when they sit down and they go to putting it on paper or typing it out, that's where it falls apart.
Because
Because
they see it.
because then they realize how many holes are in it.
Ooh.
Once you start to put it into practice, then you actually have something to criticize. So once, even if you write the whole thing out and you put it away, you'll come back the next day and look at it and be like, "Oh my God, this is terrible. What was I thinking? Oh, this was not as cool as I thought it was. Oh, the words don't even matter. Oh man." Then you get down on yourself and all of that. That right there to me is like where what stops like 90% of people who want to be writers, going from the idea to actually fully formed in front of you. And if people could get over that part right there, I think you would have a lot more successful people who can write. But that's like the biggest hurdle, is getting it down, not being so freaking hard on yourself for what you're writing, because people don't realize that your story is always evolving. It's always changing. I'm working on book 4, and I've gone back and I've changed this book like 3 or 4 times. You know, and if I was to go back again, it's probably going to change again. So that's one of the most difficult parts about it. Knowing when to stop and knowing when your story is like good enough. Like, this is good.
So now the story is good. We
Yeah.
have Volume 1.
Right.
Do we what we do? We call these people up, we submit it to them, and they look for stuff. And do they say, hey, we don't think this is good enough for us, or we don't think this will be good on our, I'm not gonna say platform, but under our label?
Right, right. It depends on how you want to go about it, really. So, I am a self-published author, so I pretty much do everything myself. I write the books, I edit them, I put them for sale on the websites. I market them myself. There's no team behind me. It's me doing everything. That's self-publishing. But so the bad thing about self-publishing is you got to do
Money,
everything
money, and time.
right. So you gotta know it. You gotta be in it. Basically, you got to be all in. You know the that's the time-consuming thing about it, right? It's the bad thing. The good part is about anything that you do sell, or that let's say you sell 100,000 books. If you are a self-published author, you get to keep all of that money. All of
Yeah.
that money. If you went through the traditional publishing route, which means you got to get an agent, you got to pay for an agent who solicits your manuscript, your work to other companies, and then they can decide whether to accept or reject you. And they usually give you like a signing bonus and stuff like that. Let's say you go through that route and your book does well, those companies and that agent or whatnot, they are gonna get a lot of that money. You're gonna see some money. You're gonna be good, especially if your book does really well. But the majority of the money is probably gonna go to them. Whereas self-publishing, where you have to do everything, but the majority of the money comes to you. When you do well.
So if you self-publish, does that mean most of? I could kind of brief. I'm not. You self-publish. Does that mean your stuff is I don't want to use the word virtual. Do you have physical hardback, paperback books, or is everything, you know,
Yeah,
phones?
yeah. Mine is I do pretty much everything. So I have Kindle versions. I got audiobook versions, hardback, paperback. But you can, like I said, as self-publishing, you're your own boss. So you get to do whatever it is you want to do because you own the rights to your material and stuff. You can put it on platforms. You can take it off. You can do hardcover, or you can just go straight, digital if you want to. It's all in your hands, which is partly why I decided to do that way.
I am a. I don't know why. I'm just weird. I am a hardback collector.
Yeah.
I I'm looking like
Mm.
as if you can see. I'm gonna take a picture and send it to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
All the
Yeah.
stuff that I have, and usually I've gotten just about all of my books through Amazon. I don't think I've like went to a bookstore and got something, but everything from Amazon. And there are some that's like Malcolm X, autobiography of Malcolm X. I've seen hardback copies that's like very expensive, but I have just like a paperback. I
Hmm.
have Dick Gregory's. I like
Yeah.
a lot of autobiographies because I like knowledge. I like to learn and
Right.
just kind of walk in other people's footsteps and
Yeah.
just see what they've been through and just learn and go that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Okay.
if you you know, if you got like, all three of your books, one, two,
Mhm.
and three, since I'm pretty sure you got like the third one that hasn't been released to the public yet. I'm pretty sure you got it, sitting in a
Yeah.
box in the corner. Yeah. If I'm just we just saying we throwing it out. If you got all three hardbacks, Wishful Podcast will love a autographed. Yeah, we
Yeah.
do all that. But you know,
Yeah, but
one could dream. We can
I
dream.
got to order some for myself. Actually, that's my problem. I don't be keeping my own stuff. I always order them and then I give them to somebody or something. That's what ends up happening.
Can you set your own price point? Or do you kind of look at like, okay, I have 300 pages in volume 1 and 2. I don't want to make it like super expensive, but just,
Yeah.
the market.
Yeah, I pretty much set my own price. As of uh, as of right now, there are different ways to think about it. The way I used to think about it is like, this is a good story. This is a good book. It is worth paying this price for it because it is that good. But that isn't always the most expedient way to get where you're going. So for me, I'm doing especially now. I'm gonna be selling book one at a huge discount especially once book three is out, and that'll be kind of be my hook. So the first book will be like 99 cents on Kindle, just to kind of you know, get my find my fan base, get my readers in there, and then you purchase the next two books at the standard price. So yeah, yeah, that's my little hook right
I just added a question.
now.
So, are you doing this for money or for passion? Is this
It's it's definitely my passion for sure.
okay?
Definitely something I love to do. Getting paid for your passion is always a plus, I think. So for me, if I could, it'll be a dream of mine to be able to write full time, not have to clock in on anybody else's clock, and just spend my days writing what I want to write and being able to afford to do that and take care of myself, and also give create just great stories.
And the very last thing before we move on, because we've been rolling for almost a full hour.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Any childhood movies contribute to your series right now?
To the current one, oh yeah. Shoot. Probably my biggest inspiration was the movie The Prophecy. The little known movie with Christopher Walken in it. Uh, Basically, it's the story of the angels in heaven are warring against each other, and Gabriel has pretty much gone rogue because he doesn't like the fact that God loves humans more than angels. And so he's kind of going on a tirade, warring against the other faction of angels.
And this movie came out in 1995. It is a fantasy thriller horror.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah, yeah. That movie by itself has probably the biggest impact on me as far as writing, and this book in particular. This book in particular even borrows the same uh, plot where the angels are warring against each other because of God's love of humanity over them. And so humans get kind of pulled into that war between the two angel factions. Yeah, yeah.
The AI on this communicator in my hand is ridiculous. I didn't know it was gonna do that, man.
That's AI for you.
Clearly, and we not talking about AI with the braids. We not talking about him.
Oh, right.
But when you said Gabriel, it made me think about a movie called Dogma.
Oh yeah, I love Dogma.
And I do too. I need to watch that. I need to figure out where it is because it used to
Oh
come on. This was long time ago. People, this was long time ago when
yeah,
people actually had cable and they
yeah,
used to show this stuff on TV. It used to
yeah.
come on in
All
not Comedy Central, but it would come on a lot because Chris Rock is in it.
yeah, I think it used to come on Comedy Central too. Yeah, it's a funny movie. I mean, yeah, but it's great though. It's great, like the storytelling and the messages that it. Yeah, it's a great movie. It really is.
Damn.
But between Prophecy and Dogma and what else? Constantine, Spawn as
Yeah.
well. The animated show TV show that used to come on HBO. Spawn. Uh, those shows.
Constantine, that's Keanu Reeves, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. All of those shows are kind of in the same vein or whatnot, talking about the Abrahamic religion and all that stuff. But the Prophecy and Dogma were kind of like some of the first movies I saw that kind of made me realize that oh, this stuff can be like it can be something different, or we can make this into a story. We can make this fun and we can make this engaging. We can add stuff to it, because all before that, I always thought it was kind of like, oh, this was taboo. You can't really, talk about the Bible. You can't make fun of the Bible. You can't change or add anything to the story of Jesus and nothing like that. Like that's blasphemous. And then I watched like the prophecy and I saw what they did, and I'm like, wow, that's actually cool. Like you actually can like add your own elements to this stuff and make it into a story and make it cool and engaging and stuff. And that's what I decided to do.
So going to a Catholic school, damn it, I'm trying to get off of this subject and I can't.
How did we get back here?
All of what you just said,
Yeah.
did you going to a Catholic school, did that have any type of hindrance? Like, did you try to talk to any of your teachers about this? And
I mean,
because
yeah, yeah, that definitely kind of put me in a box in a way that I felt like, you know, this subject was taboo. It wasn't good. And even some of the people, around me at the time, like some of the stuff I would write was too, in their face for them. It was too much for them. Like, you know, uh, even cursing in a bad way to them was like, oh, you you going to hell for that. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't be saying that. Like saying something like somebody surprised you and you say holy shit or holy mother of shit. You know what I'm saying? People would be like, oh, you're not supposed to do that. But like that type of thinking kept me in a box in a way, and it didn't let me like flourish and do. Or I definitely couldn't have written this story like with that way of thinking. I needed to be able to see these stories as something to build upon, or something that could be changed without being in trouble for doing it.
makes sense. And that's what you said about being in a box. That has, I could guarantee you, just about whoever you said that to was an old person. Yeah, they stuck in their ways. That's what they know. That's how they was
Yeah,
taught. That's
yeah, bro. And that's it. There's nothing else. It's been working, so let it keep working. What you trying to change it for? Yeah, yeah, man.
so we finna move to, let's see.